hummus. Ooh. Never thought about it like that before. It's December, therefore it is acceptable to wear Christmas hats, Christmas jumpers, and get in the festive spirit. And that is exactly what I am doing. What have I got for you today? Well, we finally have the Whoniverse Christmas scheduling, and Stephen Moffat has revealed something very interesting and very exciting about Joy to the World. So let's jump straight into it. So as it is the beginning of December, that means we have a new edition of SFX magazine, and as usual there are some juicy tidbits in there all about Doctor Who. Now I'm going to talk about just one tiny thing that was revealed in this latest edition. As always, if you do want to get all of the details, find the full interview and all the things there are in that edition of the magazine, then do go and get yourself a copy, and there is a link down below for that. But obviously watch the video first and then go and find the link. So in this interview with Stephen Moffat, he talks all about Joy to the World, he talks about the future of Doctor Who, he even talks about Sherlock a little bit as well. But I want to talk about Joy to the World, obviously, and something that Stephen Moffat mentioned when he was asked about whether there was anything he was keen to explore with regards to the Doctor. And he gave a really great response. This is what he said. I was keen to see him go mean. He does go a bit mean for once in this, and he does it for quite a long while. I always think that at some point the ancient beast has got to snarl, or you don't think it's him. Now we know that Stephen Moffat can give us some good dark Doctor moments, angry Doctor moments. Think about the Colonel Runaway speech, or the nobody human has anything to say to me today moment, you know? So Moffat can deliver on those really poignant, angry Doctor moments. So I am certainly intrigued and excited by this whole idea of Ncuti's Doctor going mean. We've seen him get a bit angry in season 1, but we haven't necessarily seen him go mean. To be honest, now please do correct me if I'm wrong, and if I'm missing something obvious, then please do let me know in the comments down below. But it does feel that lately, this whole kind of mean version of the Doctor, angry version of the Doctor, has been a bit lacking in recent years. Now, there was a moment where Jodie Whittaker's Doctor did go really dark in The Haunting of Villa Diodati, and as I mentioned, we've had a few outbursts from 15 in season 1, but nothing that's really made me personally think, yeah, this is an ancient creature that's feared across the cosmos and kind of gives you chills by the sheer power that he is able to put across from this kind of dark, angry, mean delivery that he might give. So I think, yeah, it'd be really nice to see a little bit more of that. Now, I know some of you might think about the 12th Doctor and how he did have some very dark moments. I've actually been watching quite a few 12th Doctor episodes recently in preparation for a future video, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Spoilers. But I've actually felt that the 12th Doctor, I feel, maybe went a little bit too far. He had a very angry and rude demeanour a lot of the time, and personally I feel like that was too far in the direction of dark. I think, as I've mentioned with lots of different scenarios in Doctor Who, if something becomes too common and used too often, then it loses that power. And I think what makes the Colonel Runaway speech, for example, work so well is that we don't often see 11 act in that way, but when he does, you know he's serious and you know this is dark and deep. But then on the other hand, if you look at 13 and 15, I think maybe that's played it too safe in the opposite direction, where it's been a little bit more silly and doesn't have as many of those really dark moments. So hopefully we're going to see a better balance of that moving forward, and I'm very intrigued to find out what this mean, dark moment is that we're going to see in Joy to the World. Let's move on to the Christmas schedule, the airtime for Joy to the World and other things. So starting off, Christmas Eve, at 4 p.m. on BBC Two and BBC iPlayer, we will be getting the Doctor Who proms. As you all know, I was very fortunate to actually be in attendance at the recording of the proms earlier this year. I'm so excited to see it on TV. The proms, I used to love watching the proms. I used to love watching the Doctor Who proms. Then they didn't do it for years. I was so excited to be able to be there in person. But I'm also really excited to be able to relive that, to hear that music again, fingers crossed sometime soon we're going to find out about the soundtrack. Are we going to get the soundtracks for the 60th anniversary specials for season 1? I need to hear that music just on a loop. So I'm very excited about that. 4:10, I mean, it's on BBC Two, but the thing is it's on iPlayer, so even if you miss it, it's not something that's going to have spoilers as such, so it's going to be on at that time. If you're around, great, watch it, but if you're not, it's fine because it's going to be on iPlayer, and you can basically watch it whenever you want to. The other thing that's going to be released in this festive period, we have previously mentioned, but we now have a time for it, is the War Games in colour. Now, we knew this was going to be coming on the 23rd of December, but we now know that it will be at 9 p.m. and it will be on BBC 4 and also on iPlayer as well. Now, I did mention in the previous video where we spoke about the War Games in colour that it seems slightly strange that they are putting out all of these Doctor Who related things really close together. To us, it makes a bit more sense that you would spread them out slightly more. But at the same time, it's wonderful that we are going to get so much Doctor Who content over the Christmas week. 9 p.m, slightly later, but again, this is going to be available to watch on iPlayer at any time that you want to, and it's not going to be spoilery as such, not like watching the main episode itself. But it could be really nice to, and perhaps for the older viewers who are more familiar with the War Games, 9 p.m.'s not that late. Kids maybe aren't going to watch it anyway. I'm very excited to watch this. I genuinely really intrigued. I mentioned in the last video that for me, having these kind of older episodes revitalized in colour, shortened down a little bit, that really appeals to me, who sometimes gets put off by the really long serials of the classic era. So I'm really excited to watch this. Whether or not I'll watch it at 9 p.m. on the 23rd, I'm not sure, but I definitely will be watching it over the festive period. But the moment you've all been waiting for, of course, Joy to the World. We all knew it was coming Christmas Day, but we now know that it will be coming at 5:10 p.m. 5:10 p.m. Said that very weirdly. 5:10 makes sense if you're in the UK, but I know sometimes if you're in a different country, if you're in the US and you say like 5:30, people are like, what? 5:10 p.m. on BBC One and on BBC iPlayer. And I would assume that it will drop simultaneously at that time throughout the world. I'm going to note just a few different time zones here so that you get an idea of what time it might be for you. Obviously, you can also go and find this out yourself, but I'll just list the most popular WhoCulture territories. So obviously the UK, it will be at 5:10. In the United States, that will be 9:10 in the morning, 9:10 a.m. Pacific time and 12:10 Eastern time. If you're in Australia, slightly less fortunate, 4:10 a.m. on Boxing Day morning. That's not so fun, 4 o'clock in the morning. Canada, you are on the same time zone, I believe, as Eastern time, so again, 12:10. And Germany, European countries, you're only an hour ahead of us, so that will be 6:10 p.m. for you. 5:10. Is that a good time? To be honest, any time is a good time. Just the fact that we're getting Doctor Who back on Christmas Day, I know we had it last year, but just the fact that we're having Doctor Who on Christmas Day again just makes me so happy and warm inside that I don't care what time they put it on. It is a little bit early compared to others that we've had in the past. Maybe it could clash with some people's Christmas dinners, but if you know the time now, you can plan in advance, work your dinner around Doctor Who. If you're not doing that, what are you doing? Obviously, this year in particular as well, BBC One is absolutely stacked on Christmas Day. We've got the Gavin and Stacey special, which everyone is very, very excited about. You've got a new Wallace and Gromit film as well. You've got a Strictly special. There are 2 Call the Midwife specials, although I believe one of them is coming out on Boxing Day. But even so, there's so much going on that they didn't really have a lot of wiggle room in terms of where things were going to fit. So 5:10, absolutely fine with me. I'm just so glad that we're getting it. And then we can also expect a season 2 trailer to follow the Christmas special, to follow Joy to the World. So that is very exciting as well. And I'm hoping it's going to be an absolute belter of a trailer. I mean, the thing is, you're going to have more eyeballs on this trailer than perhaps you usually would, because A, it's Christmas Day, and B, this episode is going to be followed by Wallace and Gromit. So anyone tuning in to watch Wallace and Gromit might well see that trailer while they're waiting for Wallace and Gromit to start. So you're going to have a lot of people watching the TV at that time. So this has got to be a great trailer to entice those people who might not have usually seen it. Now, of course, the other big thing about this, and I'm sure some of you might have noticed, is that it seems that the BBC is abandoning the whole midnight release strategy, at least for the Christmas special. For Christmas, it just wouldn't work. It's so much a part of like Christmas evening viewing. It just wouldn't have worked if it had been like season 1 and they'd released it at midnight. No. In terms of, the thing about the midnight releases is I'm in two minds about it. I think from the point of view of a fan, I don't like it. I don't like it because it's such an unsociable hour for the UK viewers who are the main viewers of Doctor Who. It just seems a little unfair. It just takes away that whole kind of pre-episode conversation that there usually would be because not everyone's watching it at the same time. It used to be this family viewing experience on a Saturday evening. And yes, I know you can still watch it on a Saturday evening if you choose to, but spoilers are so hard to avoid even if you're not actively seeking them out these days. So it just kind of took away part of that feeling of watching Doctor Who that you used to get. Selfishly, from a work perspective, the midnight releases worked massively in our favour. You got the videos quicker. We didn't have to wait until the night time to start forming our ups and downs. We could just get up Saturday morning, smash it out, you've got a video by the end of the day. But for Christmas, absolutely not. Absolutely has to be, this is the time it's airing and we're all watching it at this time. Not some people get it at a sociable hour and some people have to wait. Although I do apologise, Australia, because as I said, 4 o'clock in the morning, not the one. Not the one. But anyway, I digress. Yay for not releasing the Christmas special at midnight. That would have been a bad move, so maybe you could take that into consideration when you go into season 2. Maybe? Again, I'm in two minds. Selfishly, leave it how it is. But for the wider audience and the grander scheme of things, maybe we should revise that whole midnight release thing when we go to season 2. Anyway, I'm so excited. 5:10, Christmas Day. Let's all buckle up, folks, and enjoy joy to the world. Stay tuned to the channel. We have got so much coming in the build up to Christmas, things coming after Christmas. There is a lot to be excited for. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss all the things that we've got coming. And if for nothing else, just to see me in this hat again, you know? Put some festive emojis in the comments down below so that I know that you are also in the Christmas spirit. In the meantime, I've been Ellie for WhoCulture, and in the words of Riversong herself, goodbye, sweeties.